a long way from home. This is Brazil.
James McFadden scores for Scotland. The afternoon belongs to Lewis Vaughan. Make it 3. It's 3-0. An absolute classic from Stephen Kingsley.
So the final day of the Scottish Premiership is almost upon us. I'm delighted to be joined by Fraser Gordon once again. How are you doing, Fraser?
Oh, I am, excited, to put it bluntly. But yeah, no, I'm good.
We are joined by another man who I hope he's excited. I'm not sure what he'll be feeling. Probably every emotion right now is the biggest Hearts fan that we know, Aaron Fraser. Aaron, how are you doing? How are you coping with the nerves?
Not very well, to be honest with you, Callum. It's been a very emotional last kind of 48 hours or so. Still trying to wrap my head around all the events of last night, both at Tynecastle and elsewhere. But once again, very glad to be back on the podcast with you boys, talking about the beautiful game of Scottish football. So, pleasure to be back on.
The pleasure's all ours, isn't it, Fraser?
Well, it certainly is, Aaron. It certainly is. It sounds like, I don't know about you, Callum, but it sounds like a man who's potentially got a sore head, potentially been doing a lot of shouting about this time yesterday. Sounds like a man that's maybe tucked up in his bed.
Well, the latter part is correct, although it wasn't exactly a crazy night last night, to be honest. I had a shift at 9 o'clock this morning, so it wasn't exactly a big night, so to speak. And to be honest, as has been the case with a lot of Hearts games in the running, it's just been so emotionally draining that you can't even be bothered going out after it, because you feel like you've played 90 minutes yourself with all the what ifs and every cheer and every tackle, and it's been a roller coaster. But whatever way it ends, this season's taken a lot out of the Hearts support, shall we say? So, if anything, I'll be glad of a rest before the World Cup kicks off.
The World Cup then comes straight around after that. Yeah, I was going to say I'm not even a Hearts fan. I was sat there watching that game on Wednesday night, like so stressed out, like for you guys, for myself, watching it, all the drama unfold at the end. So I can only imagine you're exhausted. But we are going to be looking ahead to one massive push this weekend. And honestly, like, I can't believe we're here at this final day. It's going to be an absolutely huge game against Celtic coming up. But we will touch on the events on Wednesday night. Aaron, are you still reeling about the final decisions there from the Motherwell Celtic game? Of course, that penalty decision in the last minute's been all the talk.
Yeah, I'm still fuming, to say the least. I'm not best impressed, both with the decision and the amount of stoppage time played. But we'll be here for about a 3-hour podcast if I keep on talking about it at full length. So it was the least surprising news ever that filtered through at Tynecastle when we heard that Celtic had a controversial late penalty, and the guy in front of me had it on his phone, so seeing it in real time was sickening, to be honest with you. Just you think you're going to get the best possible case scenario when Celtic go 1-0 down and then we start winning. That would have been the dream to become champions last night. But even when the game's level, you're thinking, okay, we're in a really good position heading into Parkhead, and then obviously they get that late penalty, and it's just play until Celtic score, really. So yeah, it's nothing we've not seen before. But if we're gonna wrestle this title away from the city of Glasgow, we're gonna have to do it from our cold dead hands. So bring on the final day, whatever it brings, but we're not gonna give it up without a fight, I can assure you that.
The craziest part about all that was that you were in a full Tynecastle stadium and some guy was able to get 5G to watch the live pictures.
He must have stole the Wi-Fi network or something. I don't know how he does it. I can barely check my phone at half time for the scores, and this boy's got Sky Go fully on. So whatever sorcery he's done to get that, fair play.
That is honestly impressive, because I don't think I've ever been able to stream anything in a stadium of over 10,000 people. So fair play to him. But yeah, interesting.
You've been in a stadium of over 10,000 people, Fraser, a United fan, eh? Sorry, I can't really talk myself, but
those in Glasshouses must not throw stones, Mr. Ratchet. Come on now.
But you raised a few points there, and I feel like we have to go into it, Callum, don't we? Maybe it's not. Maybe you don't want to go down that route, but
it's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
there is an elephant in the room, and there's been a lot of opinions, shall we say, a lot of arguments being thrown about today. I fall on the side of, I don't think it's the worst decision in the world. I don't think it's corrupt. I don't think it was a terrible decision. I don't think it was an obvious decision. Potentially, I don't know if the process was perfect. And I would say, from what I've seen, I think it was factually a penalty, but in order to get to their decision, I don't think it should have been a penalty, if that makes sense. And I think that ultimately falls on VAR, and how in Scotland it's not quite the quality of VAR on the continent or VAR in England. And I think potentially it shouldn't have been given because of that. But I do think, from what I've seen from different angles, that the VAR and John Beaton didn't have, it does look like a penalty. It does look like it touched the hand. But yeah, it's controversial. When Celtic win a penalty in the 95th minute, it's always going to cause a big debate across Scottish football. And when Celtic win a penalty to essentially keep them in a title race, in these current circumstances, it was always going to cause a bit of controversy. So I don't know your opinions, Callum. I personally think it's not as bad as it's been made out to be, and there's a lot of things that need to be considered. But yeah, I mean, I can see why there's a lot of emotion in it from both sides, but I don't think it was as terrible as it's been made out to be.
Yeah, I think my first reaction when I saw it happen was, fuck's sake, like, this is all we're going to hear for the next few days. And immediately I had group chats just popping off, people talking about the conspiracies and the theories behind all of these things going on. End of the day, like, the first thing I thought when I saw it is his hand is definitely up high and there's a decision to be made. I'm not a referee. I've not got the best interpretation of the handball law that anyone has ever had. I don't think anyone really exactly knows what the handball laws are at any stage.
No one knows what the rule is now these days.
It's different in different competitions, which I think's what makes it even more confusing. You know, for me, I probably wouldn't think it's a penalty because he's not made his body any bigger. That's possibly my opinion on it. But at the same time, his hand is up; it's above his head, and if it does hit his hand, there's a decision to be made. I think it's a bit silly to say one way or the other. There's not a debate. It's a contentious decision. People are going to see it a different way. I would have leaned towards it not being a penalty, but you can obviously see why the question was asked, and I completely probably understand as well why Aaron's not the happiest man about it at all. I'd be.
And
just the same,
given
I'm sure.
the penalty that Hearts could have and should have had at Fir Park, the very same VAR camera looking at that deemed it not worthy of being a spot kick, and then Celtic get a controversial. No, the handball that wasn't given.
Oh right. Oh sorry.
It's just sickening, to be honest. It just feels like a case of, I don't want to be all conspiracy nut, but when it comes down to it, it really feels like you're playing against 12 men at times, and if it was never going to be easy to win any league, but especially when it's the finest of fine margins, and you feel like you're up against it. It's just what else you need?
To say, I get the frustration, and it is disappointing, and I think everybody in Scotland who was watching the game last night made the same joke that, haha, I bet Celtic are going to win it with a scruffy goal in the 95th minute or something like that. Everybody would have made that joke, and so for it to actually come true, it sort of adds a little bit of fuel to the fire when it's controversial. But you could, at the risk of sounding like a Celtic fan, you could point at Daizen Maeda getting wiped out in the penalty box earlier in the game, wasn't given, rightly or wrongly, and then you could point at the Joe Newell incident whether or not it did or didn't touch his arm. The minute you start saying you're playing against 12 men, I just worry that it does sort of fuel this narrative in Scotland that there's bias one way or the other. Maybe there is, but I really don't think there is. And in this instance, it's so unfortunate. I really, really wish, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying the drama. It's actually quite exciting. But I do kind of wish that if there was going to be a winner last night, that it was done under clearer circumstances, so that it's not shining a light on controversy or conspiracy theories or whatever. But yeah, it was contentious. I think the rules of the game need cleared up, and I think VAR needs seriously looked at, because we've even seen like the Falkirk scored a goal earlier in the game against Hearts, and I've not looked properly closely at it, but you saw the lines that were being drawn against Harry Milne and Calvin Miller, and they were tight. And at times this season there's been goals given and there's been goals not given, where the offside line that's been drawn is like it's not conclusive, it's not accurate. There's not enough camera angles. It's the quality of the camera or the VAR isn't conclusive enough to be able to say definitively this is the answer. So I think in circumstances like that, and last night was one of those instances, I think you probably just have to ignore VAR and go with the on-field decision. And in that case, John Beaton hadn't given a penalty, so probably I would say shouldn't have been given in that regard. But basically, I think it's just the quality of the technology available, which unfortunately is taking centre stage. But football-wise, hugely entertaining night of football. Absolutely loved it, and very much looking forward to hopefully equally dramatic a day on Saturday.
Yes, well, rightly or wrongly, I think we can come to the point that I think people are going to complain one way or another, whether there was VAR, there's not VAR. I heard Scott Brown on the telly. Scott Brown doing his best job to do anything but be an United manager this season, doing every game at the minute. It feels like he was doing the Dunfermline playoff game the other day, and I heard him say that he likes VAR. His only complaint is it's not quick enough. He got his request there. It was a pretty quick decision. That was certainly one thing. But in terms of the football, as you're saying, I don't know, Fraser, what you wanted to add something there, Fraser?
Well, I was just going to, that's another example of you're never going to make anyone happy in this country, because people have been moaning about how VAR takes too long, and then the minute someone goes and does it quickly and comes to a snap decision, there's not been enough deliberation. So, there's just...
Oh, we always need something to complain about. That gets the clicks, but we're here to talk about the beautiful game of football. And Aaron, before we do start looking ahead to that game on the weekend, that I'm sure it's all you've been thinking about probably when you said you're away working today. I'm sure you've not had out of your mind, but the touch on the game against Falkirk, maybe a difficult open to the game. Falkirk were well up for it, of course, and you seem to have had Falkirk's number a little bit this season, I think it's fair to say. But they started that game strong, but as soon as Hearts got that first goal, really seemed to settle the nerves, because it did seem like it was a bit of a nervy atmosphere in there at Tynecastle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Falkirk did start very well. They scored a goal that was rightfully chopped off for offside early doors, but regardless of whether it counted or not, it's still a bit of an early warning shot to kind of remind us, okay, like we've got to do a bit, we've got to get these 3 points over the line tonight. And after a bit of a nervous start, the crowd were up for it, but I think that kind of spooked them a little bit. But once we got that first goal through Frankie Kent's beautiful winning header, it was just easy street, to be honest. We just really kind of picked them off. And yeah, Falkirk, we have had the better of them this season. Granted, they did put us out the Scottish Cup on penalties, but even at that, we've not lost to them in 90 minutes. We've beaten them at home and beaten them away. We've beaten them at home twice, actually. And it was good for me to see Alexandros Kizridas back to his best. Everyone talks about the headline grabbing goal that he scored against Falkirk at Tynecastle early in the season from like an impossible angle miles out. But when he played against them in the Scottish Cup, he was on the receiving end of both barrels from the Hearts support for a pretty poor performance. It was nice to see him get back to his confident best, and maybe he just likes playing against Falkirk in the league, but he really seemed to be willing to take on his man again, and he had an injection of pace, confidence and purpose that he's really not shown in the last kind of couple of games. So I think when Kizeridas plays well, Hearts play well, and it was nice to see him back to his best. And yeah, it was an incredible atmosphere once the players kind of gave the fans something to really shout about, and it kind of fell flat a little bit at the end after the news of Iheanacho's penalty filtered through. But yeah, the players really set a tone on what was an incredible night for the football club. Don't get me wrong, I was always going to rely on events elsewhere to see just how loud it could get after the game finished. But from the first minute to 90, the Hearts fans were tremendous. The players really fed off that, and I think that gave them confidence to really take the game with a scruff of the neck, because the first half kind of wore onwards in the second half as well. But no, look, the fans were brilliant last night. It's an occasion that, whether we're going to win it or not, will be remembered down Gorgie Road for a very long time.
Aaron, were you Were you one of the fans in tears last night?
No, actually, I was surprisingly calm. To be honest with you, I was pretty teary after the Rangers game. Like that one really got to me. But I just, I don't know. It was just a kind of feeling that I didn't want to, fully let myself believe it was happening until it was signed, sealed, delivered. And looking back at it now, was a pretty decent approach to have. But I can totally understand why. I said the emotion got the best of so many people in that stadium last night. It's just an incredible feeling knowing that we're so close to making Scottish football history. And listen, if you don't get swept up in the emotion of it all, are you really a football fan? It's just such an incredible ride, such an incredible season, and we're so close to doing something that everyone thought was impossible. I just hoping and praying we can get it over the line at Parkhead on Saturday.
I can tell the emotion took a lot out of you there, Aaron, because that was a big yawn you get.
Yeah, it's just honestly, it's been an amazing season, but yeah, it really has taken out of me, as I'm sure it's taken out of a lot of Hearts fans.
Yeah, I must say, like, seeing the Hearts fans having a wee cry in the stadium, I'm like, absolutely fair play, man. Like, you're saying you don't want to get caught up in it, mate. Let yourself get caught up in it. This is no team has come close to doing this for decades. Like, you are top of the league going into the 38th game of the season. You're playing good football. It's phenomenal. I would absolutely love to be a Hearts fan right now. So, Colin Chisholm at the start of each game singing HERTS, man, or whatever it's called, Hearts, Hearts, Glorious Hearts, phenomenal. Stadium with tifo every game, and then you're putting 3 past a very good Falkirk. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you almost
Tynecastle's really been special this season, and obviously being top of the league helps. When you're flying, it helps, but the club, the ultras, the fans, everyone's kind of pulled together to really make it the fortress we all know it can be.
no, you definitely have it. It's been a special season. You remember, no matter how it ends, and I'm sure if a few weeks ago, a few months ago, certainly at the start of the season, if I said to you, you'll go into the final day just needing 1 point to lift the league title, you'd absolutely snap your hand off. But it did feel a little bit like the atmosphere. I was just exhausted watching it all on the telly from my living room, and you could really feel that in the stadium, that everyone just seemed like they'd almost had a little bit of a pin put in things just for a few moments when the news did start to filter around. Even the players as well, who it kind of looked like they were getting, I don't know, they were watching it, getting the news on the pitch certainly at full time before they went to sort of clap the fans, obviously. But maybe it would have been a bit easier if Celtic just won that game a bit more comfortably, routine 2-0 win. Would that maybe have just given you a bit more of a boost rather than, sort of it being taken away in a certain aspect in the last minute?
Yeah, I think Celtic winning wasn't really a surprise. Well, I guess people would have been thinking, well, there's every chance we will have to go to the final day for it. But I think it was more the manner of the victory, and especially the controversial circumstances that really took the wind out of everybody's sails. It was like having that hope just snatched away like that. I mean, we went from, obviously you want to play for the win, but we went from being able to even lose by a couple of goals to it being you have to draw, you have to win. It's just that little bit more security and comfort got ripped away from us in the most heartbreaking circumstances. So
But
yeah, it was
even,
not
sorry,
pleasant.
in a weird way, it might kind of work in your favour a bit. I'm sure it won't, and I'm sure obviously you would far prefer to go to Celtic Park requiring a 2-0 loss or better. But in a weird way, like you go into that game now knowing you need to get something out of it. So you set up positively, you go out, you try and get the win, and if you fall short and you draw, fine. But like if you're going to Celtic Park and you're thinking, right, lads, just don't put a foot wrong. If we lose 1-0, it's fine. If we lose 2-0, it's fine. That's when you're playing against a team like Celtic at Celtic Park, then you're maybe, I'm sure, I'm not saying Derek McInnes would do that, but it would creep into the player's mind, it would creep into his mind. It might just, it being sort of going in with the mentality that you just need to lose, but not by much, is maybe kind of more of a negative approach to take than going in thinking, right, we need to get something out of this, we need a draw at all costs. And it might force you to maybe be a bit more aggressive, which I'm sure you would be, but there's no doubt about it now. You have to go there. You have to at least get a draw. You have to bring the game to Celtic, and you've got the players to do it, and you can quite easily do that. So maybe it might just flip the mentality, and might work in your favour. I don't know. Hopefully it will. I'm not sure, but it certainly, that one goal certainly has changed the sort of perplexion of perplexion. That's not even a word. Complexion of the title race, but in a weird way, may work in your favour. Who knows? But I can imagine it probably did put a pin in the celebrations a little bit. But you're still right in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if you'd said at the start of the season, like you boys said earlier, if you told me you'd get to the final game of the season away at Celtic with a chance to still win the league, you'd obviously snap your hand off for it. So again, it probably does benefit us a little bit knowing we have to go there and draw or win, because like you said, if you can go there knowing that you could maybe lose by a goal or two and you can still win it, it's the wrong mentality to have. Listen, the professional footballers, they want to win no matter what, but I think not having that safety net, obviously as fans, it's a bit gutted, but psychologically for the players themselves, it could be a benefit. Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
No, 100%. But you'll be obviously going into that game as well. Two big players down as you were midweek. The first goal went in, and a couple of players played tribute as well. Of course, sort of a memorial, I suppose, for Craig Halkett and Mark Leonard, who both picked up absolutely terrible injuries, of course. And you want the two of them because it's fair to say Craig Halkett's possibly been your most dependable player all season long, and you're gonna want a warrior like that when you're going to Celtic Park for one-off games. So how big a loss are the two of them in the middle of the park and the spine of the team?
Yeah, Hulk is a massive loss. This has been by far his best season at the club. It was, you're thinking he's going to get through it injury free, which, as everyone knows, for Craig Halkett, well, I say injury free. He's had a few niggles, but like
It's all he's needed, though, isn't it?
it's been his most consistent season. Definitely, he come back in summer with a point to prove, got himself really fit, and was such a key component in this Hearts team. And knowing that he faces yet another long term injury on the sidelines, but especially with his age now, with his injury history, with obviously Hearts being involved with Jamestown, my worry kind of is that might be his Hearts career by and large over. Like, it'll take him a long time to get back to fitness, let alone the levels he's shown this season. And by that time, can we really afford to be waiting around for Craig Halkett again? I don't see it. Obviously, if he can come back and nail in a starting spot again next season, for him that would be fantastic. But he's missed out on a possible World Cup with Scotland. He's unavailable for the last couple of games of a title race for Hearts, the club he's been with since 2019, the club's longest serving player, and a potential fairy tale ending to this season in a World Cup campaigns and ripped away in the blink of an eye. So gutted for him, because if there's anybody that deserved to see out this season, it was Craig Halkett. Mark Leonard too, he's been immense for us. I think that'll be his Hearts career over as well. I mean, he's under contract at Birmingham for another 2.5 years or so. He's back down there for his rehab, so he won't even be with the Hearts team for the rest of the season, which again for him will be gutting to miss out on that. Whether we win the league or not, he'll want to see it through with his boys, he'll want to see it through with his teammates, and again he's not able to do that. So, and again, you're waiting 6-9 months for it to come back from such a serious injury. I reckon the club will probably move on and sign other midfield targets, which is a shame because I'd love to see him become a permanent Hearts player. Would have been a nice story for a former youth player to kind of go away, develop himself down south, and come back, win the league, and then sign on permanently. It would have been a fantastic fairy tale story. But again, with the circumstances of the length of his injury, I just can't really see that happening now.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but the players that do come into the team, Frankie Kent got the big goal. Benny Beningame, Cammy Devlin in the middle of the park, they've been immense when they played as well. So there's still plenty in there that will help you out. And one man that has absolutely come onto his game recently, I don't know what he was doing earlier in the season, sort of handing out orange slices at half time or something like that. I'm not too sure. But in this post split, the top six, he's been absolutely immense. It's Blair Spittle out of nowhere, and a player that could have sort of out of nowhere a massive say in where the title might come go to on the final day of the season.
Yeah, Blair Spittle's been immense. He's really kind of come in from the cold. He's been a bit of a bit part player this season. Again, he was a player that was signed last season, done okay, but again, there wasn't many Hearts players that were amazing last season, as the league table suggested. But look, he's been a player that's kind of suffered from the quality we've brought in summer. He's not really been able to have much of an impact. Then all of a sudden pops up with a derby win on the Easter Road, then pops up with the third goal against Falkirk in a game that could potentially decide the direction of the league title when all was said and done. So it just shows that there's so many likeable characters in this Hearts squad that, yeah, they'll be unhappy at not getting the consistent game time they want or they signed up for, but it's a collective effort. It's really shown, this injury situation has really shown the collectiveness and togetherness in the Hearts squad, that they'll dig deep for each other, they'll fight for each other, whether they're playing 5 minutes or 50 games. They're all in it for the same thing, and it doesn't matter what role they're given, they all want to do it to the fullest. And Spittle's been given a chance to feature and show what he can do in the close season, and he's taken it. He's taken it well.
He certainly has. He scored a couple of key goals, and it's lovely watching Hearts. They're just kind of knocking it about beautifully at the moment. Yesterday, in a few of their attacks, you've got Shankland linking up with Braga, Kizaridis, Spittle. It's properly good to see. So, Aaron, what do you see, or how do you see Hearts beating Celtic at Celtic Park? How do they line up? Are you going with Blair Spittle starting again? Who's the X factor that will break them down?
I think you don't really want to change a winning team. So I think that, well, O'Shea McEntee was sidelined. He'll be a big miss. He was the one that scored the decisive goal in our 2-1 win there back when Wilfred Nonce had just made his first game, whatever happened to him. So
The glory
look,
days.
there's several key players from that last win at Parkhead missing now, but I think you've just got to trust in McInnes and trust in whatever group of players are selected. Just got to trust in them to do their jobs and hopefully bring home the most historic of titles. So, like, I just think if we played the same team as last night, you can't really have any complaints because it's got us this far. So just hoping for a miracle. Honestly, boys, I keep saying it, but we're on the verge of something truly great. Just hoping and praying we can get it done.
So
No,
so obviously Harry Milne started yesterday and was taken off for Kingsley at half time. Would you go with that again? Would you start Harry Milne? Would you go with Stephen Kingsley? Would you play 3 at the back? How would you think absolutely same again?
Yeah, I would go with Harry Milne. His attacking impetus has really been missed in the weeks he's been out. Don't get me wrong, like Kingsley is a fantastic backup option to have, but Harry Milne's so important to the way Hearts play. He's solid defensively, but he's brilliant in going forward in an attacking sense. He's got a good delivery on him. I think that he should certainly start again. And if he can only last 45 again and bring Kingsley on, cool, fair enough. But I think you've got to select the very best players available from the get-go, and Harry Milne certainly fits that category for me.
Yeah, definitely a one-off game, and if you can't get yourself fit and available for this game, then you're never going to get yourself fit and available for a match. So, no, really looking forward to what's going to come. And if you see an unchanged lineup as well, that would mean a pretty direct attack in front too. Braga, Shankland, and I 100% think that's how Hearts should go for the game as well, because that Celtic backline does have mistakes in it, and they're not getting the same amount of protection, in my opinion, from Callum McGregor as they might have done in previous years. And I think they're there to be got, and I think it's a game that's probably gonna swing in the balance a few times. Aaron, I don't know where you're going to be watching it from, because I know you've got another big game that afternoon coming up. But wherever you are watching it from, I'm sure someone probably needs to be keeping an eye on you and your heart rate, because I could see this one swinging Hearts' way, swinging Celtic's way, because that's the way Celtic's matches have just been going in general recently. Anyway, that if they fall behind, they've got that ability to bounce back, and the man up front that I'm sure is probably keeping you up at night at the minute, giving you a few nightmares. The form he's came into at the end of the season with a World Cup coming up, and chance for a summer move again potentially on his mind. Who knows? Daizen Maeda has been phenomenal, and I'm sure he's probably is the one that's given you a bit of fear coming into this game.
Yeah, he absolutely terrifies me. I'll be frank. He's a quality player at the best of times, but the form he's in now is frightening. I mean, his overhead kick against Rangers speaks for itself. Like, what else do you say about a player of that quality? He was amazing, really amazing last season. Hasn't quite hit the heights this season, but annoyingly for Hearts, he's finding dangerous form at the perfect time for Celtic. And if Celtic are to go on and win that game and win the league, then I do think it'll be Maeda that settles it for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the glitz and glamour of a potential move to Brentford can do to a man, getting himself back into form, eh?
Is that who's been linked with?
I think he was last summer, wasn't he? Was he not?
Okay,
Leeds
interesting.
last
Yeah,
summer,
yeah.
and then he sort of had a bit of toys sort of came out the pram a little bit. It seemed like the start of the season. But if you're gonna end the season, get into form at any point in the season, sorry, it's gonna be now, isn't it? With the World Cup coming up and the transfer window, so he's certainly done that. He'd be the man to watch out for, I'm sure. But it's gonna be a very entertaining game. Aaron, before we do head away as well, I've touched on it there. You've got two massive games on Saturday. Honestly, I don't know how your heart rate is going to deal with it. Firstly, you'll be preparing for the second leg with Edinburgh City against Brora Rangers. That game is another one that's right up to be won for either team after the first leg, 1-0. Firstly, where are you going to be watching the Hearts game when you're preparing for the City game? And how are you looking forward to the prospect of that one as well?
Yeah, I'll be watching the Hearts game in the Hoppy, which is a stone's throw from Meadowbank. They've got the game on, so yeah, it'll be a nervy affair to put it bluntly. But yeah, on duty as well straight afterwards, so it'll be a fairly quiet one, regardless of the result. I'll have to put my professional head on and head right down the road for
Put the
the
black cap on.
SPFL.
The
Yeah, exactly.
Have
the
you
Edinburgh
got one
City
at the end
uniform.
What's
You got a
that?
professional head?
For legal reasons, yes. Of course I do. I'm known for keeping the head and being professional. What are you on about? But yeah,
I've seen you celebrating pitch side. Was it Dumbarton away?
that wasn't me. That was my identical twin brother.
He
Yeah,
loves that guy.
it's a massive game, and granted, it's the wrong playoff that you want to be involved in, but regardless, it's still a massive occasion for the football club. Tickets have been selling well. If you're at a loose end on Saturday, please come along. I believe you guys are potentially making an appearance if you're able to make it.
I'm hoping I can do. I'm in Edinburgh anyway on Saturday, and it's the game I want to be at. I do need to make sure I am somewhere to watch the Hearts game, though. Obviously, as you mentioned, I'm not missing that for anything, but I'll try my best to be along as well. Great bit of marketing from you there. Never switches off. Very impressed.
Every
Kieran,
day's a work day, mate.
Can I put you on the spot and just say, again, putting your professional head against your heart?
Oh, didn't ask me this.
You can't ask that if that's what you're going to ask. That's bang out of order.
Is it?
I think.
I mean, I would like to think I know the answer, but then, yeah, we'll leave it. We'll do like Bukayo Saka on, was it CBS? No, when he was interviewed after the Champions League, who would he prefer in the final? And he said, "I think you all know." And then
I will
no
say,
one knew.
my question for Aaron will be if one of them comes in and the other one doesn't come in, how do you celebrate? Do you still celebrate on Saturday night? Is it a sad Saturday night if Hearts win the league, City go down, or Hearts don't win the league, then you get that little boost because City stay up? What's the celebrations like, one way or the other?
I mean, I think that regardless of what happens, like obviously just speaking from a totally personal point of view here, it's two season defining games for the two football clubs that I'm closest kind of involved with. With the City, it's crucial for the club to remain an SPFL team. For Hearts, it's potential history to be made. So the stakes couldn't be higher for both clubs, you know. So obviously, I'm hoping that both happen because I'm being greedy. Sue me. But yeah, it'll be a strange one. But listen, I think it's just a case of get through the first game, get through the second, and then see what happens. But obviously, if Hearts win the league, I'll be celebrating. Like that's just out of the question to not celebrate that. But yeah, of course, I'll be the model professional, even if that happens before the City game, and I've got to do my job, as Michael McIndoe would say.
You're trained well, trained by the best in the business. Well, I'm certainly backing both your teams as well. I'm fully on the train. I don't know if it's just maybe I'm just a massive Aaron Fraser fan and I'm not admitted it, but I want both
Someone
your
got
teams
be.
to win. There's got to be one of us out there because I did, I think I mentioned you before we start recording. I did see your lovely post before the Hearts game on Twitter. Pictures of you as a kid at Tynecastle, saying how much it would obviously mean if you did pull this one off, and then the first comment being sort of a 50-year-old Rangers fan saying, "Well done for finding the two pictures of you at a Hearts game when you're a kid." So you need some fans out here, Aaron. I've got your back. I believe you.
The support is always appreciated, mate.
You need more of it.
Oh, tell me about it, mate.
Oh, don't listen to the Rangers fans. Don't worry. They'll be supporting you as well on Saturday.
They can enjoy third place.
They couldn't resist. There you go. Who's got the final laugh, eh?
Not the Rangers fans, anyway. Well,
No.
the two of you, I'll push you score prediction at Celtic Park. What we both saying?
2 each.
Hearts 1, Celtic 1.
Okay.
That's boring. We want more than that. There's going to be goals. I think at least 4 goals.
Did I say that? I can't take that sort of stress.
I think it's going to be
if we're
a
going,
goal-filled afternoon.
Sorry, Callum, if you were looking for a short answer here, but if we're going based on the evidence throughout the season, then Hearts are getting something out of this game, and it'll be 2 each. I don't know in what crazy circumstances those 4 goals will come, but I think they'll do it.
Right. Well, I think we're in agreement. I hope that is the case for Aaron's sake more than anything. We'll need to get like a heart rate monitor installed in you for Saturday afternoon, because it's going to be absolutely massive. And make sure you check in. Tell us you're still alive if both results come in. It might be Sunday morning. I don't know. You'll have to check in. Let us know how you're doing. But best of luck, obviously, for those games.
Thank you very much. It's going to be a very interesting experience, but I'll try and enjoy it the best I can for whatever it ends up being. And yeah, it's certainly been a season to remember for both teams, for better or for worse. So it's been a football season like no other in Scotland, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to be involved so closely.
No, it certainly has been.
Exactly.
I've got a tear in my eye coming here.
Callum, just a quick shout out. We've got to give a shout out to Steny after their performance the other night as well against Alloa, going into the second leg in a good strong position, but it's obviously that's not over either. But yes, some cracking goals in that, and obviously a huge game. One part-time team will be going up to the Championship, playing against our boys next season. So brilliant to see. But who it will be, we don't know yet, obviously. But Stenhousemuir firmly in the driving seat. So a great few days of Scottish football coming up.
A great week to be a team in maroon, hopefully. So yeah, what a season it's been. I couldn't agree with you guys anymore. But Aaron, big thanks to you for coming back on again. Me and Fraser do have a very big episode coming up as well after this one as well. So do keep an eye out for that. Not to say you're not a big episode as well, Aaron. Obviously we love having you on. But thanks again for joining us.
In this one instance, he's been outgunned by this guest, but no other. He's second on our list for sure.
Well, hopefully it's not second this weekend.
Couldn't agree with you anymore. Thank you so much for joining us again, Fraser. I don't know if you want to have the final words here.
Of course, Joga Benito is finito.